What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be working on this badass 1993 Ford Bronco that's been sitting since 2008. So as you guys can see here in this moss covered beauty, it has been sitting for quite some time, and up in Washington this happens a lot with some of the lichen and mold and mildew buildup on a bunch of the paintwork. But as you can tell, it is in pretty rough shape. It has definitely seen better days, but we are going to fix all of that with a few days of work, a little bit of elbow grease. So make sure you stick around for the whole video because the results are shocking. But before we get into the video, I just want to mention that I know I've been gone for a little while. It feels good to be back with another video. I have actually moved states, so that's why I haven't been posting or anything. But now we are back. We're going to have more videos and some future vehicles and barn finds down the road. So without any more talking, let's get right into it. So for the pre-wash phase, I'm going to be using some degreaser diluted about 4:1 in a chemical sprayer and going panel by panel, just not letting the degreaser sit too long because I don't want to cause potential damage on the paint, but I will let it dwell for about 30 seconds and then pressure wash it off. And for the wheels, tires, and wheel wells, I'm going to be using some full strength degreaser along with my acid-based wheel cleaner, and I'll repeat that until it comes out completely clean. Moving on to the engine bay, here I'm going to be using some gunk degreaser to soak the valve covers and some of the lower hoses because it had a leaky power steering pump and a busted line, and then some valve cover leaks as well. And then moving on to degreaser, after letting that gunk dwell for a little bit, I'm going to be spraying it down, letting it soak with full strength degreaser, and then just pressure washing it and repeating the process until it comes out nice and clean. And then I will hit it up with some acid-based wheel cleaner after to brighten up some of the aluminum and clean up some of that built-up grime and dirt. So to brighten up all the chrome and metal on the truck, I'm going to be using some acid-based wheel cleaner and a soft bristle brush. So after hitting that up with the foam can, I'm going to be using a few microfiber towels and just going around the whole body and washing it down. So after rinsing off the body, I'm going to go ahead and refoam the whole truck one last time and hit it up with a clay bar. So after doing this, I'm going to go ahead and rinse the whole body down, but as you guys will see real quick, a bunch of dirt off just the fender alone, even after that thorough wash process. So you always want to clay before polishing. But moving on to the interior here, I'm just going to be collecting all the junk out of the truck. I found a bunch of stuff from like 2008 and this 2007. Found the original owner's manual, which was really cool. But yeah, a bunch of stuff just sitting in this truck for a while. Also found a bunch of little trees. You guys go ahead and count them and let me know in the comment section how many you counted out. The next step is removing all the seats. So moving on to cleaning the whole interior and all the hard plastics. Here I'm using some all-purpose cleaner, diluted about 5:1, along with a few different brushes and some compressed air to get out any grime or any dirt off these panels. So I'm not going to be using much steam today on the hard panels because I'm afraid of damaging these old plastics. A lot of times when they sit like this out in the sun, they're really prone to getting discolored and damaged, and I did not want to do that, and it wasn't necessary since most of it came off with just some compressed air and my all-purpose cleaner. So here I'm just going to throw a few microfiber towels upon the gauge cluster so I don't get any chemicals sprayed behind it and stain it, because that has happened to me in the past, and I'm sure it's happened to a few detailers out there as well. But moving on to cleaning all these panels, the steering wheel was in really gross shape. Now talk about grimy, this was pretty bad. I did knock it out pretty easily actually with the all-purpose cleaner, but I had to hit it up a few rounds. Now I was thinking about hitting it up with the steamer, but I really didn't want to discolor this old black plastic, and it happens a lot on these old Fords. So did not want to risk it, just spent a little bit of extra time cleaning it, being super thorough, and going over it as many times as possible. So here using the steamer was necessary since there was a bunch of mold and mildew built up on some of the panels, but just made quick work of it with the steamer and my all-purpose cleaner and wiped it all down and got it looking brand new again. So here I'm going to be using some all-purpose cleaner along with my steamer to disinfect all the seat belts and get them looking nice and clean. So moving on to all the floors here, I'm going to be using my all-purpose cleaner along with a few drill brushes and just going to get it all nice and wiped away clean. So after finishing the floors, I flipped up the back seat and found this pretty interesting, a 2008 McDonald's burger. And as you guys can see here, it doesn't look much different than one you'd get today. Keeps you wondering. Moving on to clean the leather, I'm going to be using some leather and vinyl cleaner along with my steamer. And I'm just going to be agitating it and then hitting it up with a few microfiber towels until it comes out nice and clean. So cleaning these seats was kind of sketchy because, as you guys can see, the leather's already starting to rip in some spots, but it was kind of one of those things. It was like you couldn't really do much more damage to them since they were pretty much left out to rot. I'm surprised they even came out this nice, but they came out pretty good for what they was. So moving on to cleaning some of the carpet, and here I'm going to be using some carpet solution along with a drill brush and my little Bissell extractor. Now usually I use a pretty big extractor, but it was down at the moment, so I went ahead and used the Bissell. Definitely gets the job done. It just goes to show that you can do a really good job with just a little small carpet extractor. However, it is annoying because you have to, refill the tank so many times, and it doesn't have a water heater, so you got to heat up your water yourself. But as you guys can see, it made for some really satisfying passes and came out really clean. So here I noticed a small stain on the carpet, looked like some tar, so I went ahead and hit it with the steamer and some solvent and kind of smeared it a little bit, and then went over it with the extractor until it came out completely clean. So moving on to the worst part of this detail, and that would be the carpet. So this is probably one of the hardest carpets I've ever had to clean. As you guys can see, there's grass growing out of it. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Why even save something this ugly and this rough? And this Bronco actually didn't even come with carpet in it. I got this carpet out of a Bronco from a junkyard for $10. Now, I could easily go online and get a carpet from Amazon and, you know, glue it down and all that. You guys seen me do that before in a previous video. However, the whole point of these videos is teaching you guys how to deal with what you got, and this is what we got today, and it made for some really satisfying clips that you guys will enjoy. So the things we do for YouTube is crazy, but could have saved a bunch of time by getting a new one. Also would have been in better shape. But here we worked with this one here, and we're going to be going over it with the vacuum and a Z240 Tornador, along with a few pet hair brushes. Just getting any pet hair loose because there was some in it. As you can't really see it from here, but you guys can see a little mini hailstorm starting there. So just going to go over this really thoroughly, getting any grime, dirt, and sand out of this carpet. So I think we could all agree that this carpet is one of the dirtiest carpets that's been on this channel, and it's definitely seen better days. So to take care of it today, I'm going to be using some full strength degreaser along with some bleach. Yep, you guys heard me right. I'm going to be using bleach on this carpet. Now you may be wondering why, and the reason is I'm going to be killing all the mold and bacteria with the bleach. And there was a bunch of grease since this came out of a junkyard, so the degreaser will help with that. But I don't care about the color fading out because I am going to go ahead and fabric spray this later on. As you guys will see in some later clips, it comes out really nice. So here you can see looking worse before looking better, which is totally fine because we want this color faded out as much as possible and all those stains, since just extracting alone would have never got these out. Even with the pressure washer and degreaser, still wasn't loosening up anything. So we're just going to make sure all the bacteria is killed off and all the dirt is out, and then we'll worry about the color later. So after thoroughly cleaning the carpet with the pressure washer, I went ahead and let it hang dry for a few days, and now I'm going to be hitting it up with my carpet solution along with my steamer and my extractor, and then I'm going to agitate it with my drill brush until it comes out nice and clean. So here I'm going to be making multiple passes with the extractor until I get all the suds out of the carpet and the water completely crystal clear. So as you guys can see, this carpet's in horrible shape. Even after cleaning it, you've seen the water come out crystal clear. It looks dirty, but it's not. It's just literally permanently stained. So here what I'm doing with the brush is I'm going to be opening the carpet fibers to make sure the paint gets in every nook and cranny. And as you guys can see, I'm going to be using the Duplicolor fabric and vinyl spray. Now you could go with something like SEM or something like that, which is a little bit better quality. But on this rig today, we wanted to go ahead and make this the cheap, affordable, easy way for you guys. You could buy this stuff for like $8 to $10 a can at O'Reilly's when SEM is like 30 to 40, which it is a better product. But this has done a very good job with coverage. It only took 2 cans for this whole carpet, and that was me giving it 2 to 3 coats. And here I'm just going to be agitating with the brush one more time while the paint is wet. Not your typical technique, but it does work for getting the dye a little deeper in the carpet fibers and not letting it show bare spots later. So overall, what do I think about this job here on this carpet? I mean, is it something I would do all the time? No, but for something like this, when you buy a carpet for $10 and, you know, or maybe you guys kind of are going through the same thing, you just want to buy something cheap for your everyday driver and, you know, spend a little bit of time on it just to make it look good. This is kind of your job here. Now, if there's something you're going to show or, you know, you plan on keeping for a really, really long time, obviously new carpet was the way to go here. But for $10 and a little bit of elbow grease, I think the paint done a very good job. As for the sun damaged hood, I went ahead and took care of it by scuffing it all down to 320, getting it all primed in a 2K primer, and hitting it up with some Omni base coat clear coat. Now, I never really show you guys a lot of auto body stuff on this channel, but I think I'm going to start showing you guys a little bit more because I did used to do that for a while. I still do on the side here and there, but it came out really nice. Not very much orange peel. So moving on to polishing, here I just want to show you guys what not to do. So I taped this, but I got lazy and didn't put 2 stripes of tape. So as you can see, I bumped into the top on this, and that's exactly what you don't want to do because that will leave some white residue later on. So the paint was pretty tricky on this Bronco since it's been repainted in a few spots, but as you guys can see with the green residue coming off the quarter panel here. But here I'm going to be using some 3D all-in-one along with a yellow polishing pad. And here I'm not going for perfection, just trying to get the paint nice and presentable, looking nice and shiny again. And as you guys will see, it caused for some really nice results. This had really soft paint, so I didn't have to go too heavy on it. Just a polish pad and my all-in-one. So before polishing this side, I noticed that there was some tree sap or some kind of gunk on the paint, so I went ahead and took some solvent and wiped it down before polishing. As for the headlights, just going to do a quick compound and polish on them just to make them look nice and bright again. And as you guys can see, the hood and fender is pretty close in color. It's not 100% perfect. Typically a job like this, you'd want to blend out the fenders, especially with a color like this with metallic, but this matched up pretty well, and was kind of budgeting on this Bronco here, so just want to do something quick and easy and just make it look a lot better. So one thing I forgot to record was, as you guys can see in this clip here, it has a stripe along the body, and if you remember in the first clips before we start detailing it, there was ghosting and a little bit of the silver stripe left. So we went ahead and recreated it the best we could. I think it was personally not a very nice stripe, but it did have this original on the truck, so we wanted to add that originality back to it. But moving on to the interior, I'm going to be using some 303 Aerospace along with a microfiber applicator, just going to make sure and cover all the hard plastics and wipe it down on a microfiber towel later. And for all the seats and leather, we're going to be using some Grills Garage leather care along with a microfiber applicator. Give it multiple coats because this leather was so dry, it almost felt like if you used to sit on it, it would split. So it came out really nice and gave it a nice supple finish. As for all the exterior plastics and top, I'm going to be using some 303 Aerospace to get it nice and protected and give it a nice pop. So moving on to the final step here, I'm going to be using some Grills Garage Ceramic 3-in-1 spray wax along with a few microfiber towels to make sure this paint has that extra pop and a layer of protection on it, and also make sure that there's no leftover smudges or grease from the 303 Aerospace. So after this, I did wipe the glass one more time just to make sure there wasn't any leftover residue from the spray wax. Alright, so we're all done, and here you're going to see the before and after results. Enjoy. Alright, so just about to approach the end of the video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for sticking around for the whole video. If you did, make sure drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more future videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.